Welcome back, guys, to another Clash Royale video, and today we're taking a look at another card that was buffed in the recent update, and that is the Bomber, who received a 10% buff to his damage in that update. Now, up to now, the Bomber has been much like the Knight in that he does his job fairly well, but in the end he does get outclassed by several other cards, and as a result he doesn't get used too often in this game. So we're going to take a look as to whether or not the buff was enough to make this card competitive in this game. Now, as you can see here, we are using a Royal Giant deck. Now, my whole idea with this deck is a lot of people use Barbarians and Goblins and stuff like that to counter the Royal Giant. So hopefully, having that high damage Bomber as support will help him out and allow him to do more damage to the tower. So we're going to go ahead to some replays here, and then I want to finish off with a live battle. So here we are, guys, with the first replay. Now, this replay right here is going to be a great example of how strong the Bomber can be in certain situations. And then the next replay is going to be an example of some of the downsides of the Bomber. And I do also want to apologize to you guys if my voice sounds differently in today's video. I am still recovering from being sick and trying to get over a cold, so I do apologize about that. But right here, we're coming in hot with the Royal Giant, doing a slow push, and then once the Royal Giant makes his way closer to that bridge, we're going to go ahead and support him with some Barbarians up front. And watch this, guys. He doesn't really have anything in his deck to counter this right now, so he drops a Giant to start setting up a counter push. And that Giant, is actually going to distract all my Barbarians. And watch this, guys. The Royal Giant sneaks in there, gets 3 hits off on that tower, but watch this Bomber right here clean up all of those Barbarians and protect that Musketeer pretty well. And also right here, guys, watch this. Bomber goes in there, gets 1 hit off on that tower, and in that 1 hit, he does about 200 damage to that tower. So he does some pretty insane damage for only 3 elixir, but of course he does have pretty low health, and as a result he dies only getting 1 hit off on that tower. So far so good. We're about a minute and a half or so into this battle, and his tower is all the way down to 1300 health. Both of my towers are pretty much full health at this point, so things are looking pretty good. And right here we're going to do a split push with those Barbarians, and watch this, guys. Barbarians are going over the bridge right now, so I'm going to support the Barbs on the right hand side with a Royal Giant and a Musketeer combo. And watch this, guys, he's going to drop the level 10 Minion Horde right on top of my Royal Giant. I'm going to use the Zap spell to weaken them and allow my Musketeer to one-shot them. And as a result, the Royal Giant actually finishes off that tower and gives me the 1 crown lead. And watch right here, watch how fast this Bomber clears out those level 9 Barbarians. Keeping in mind that my Bomber is only level 8, so he does have a level disadvantage. And the Bomber is still doing work to that Giant there, and then finally he goes down, doing some pretty insane damage in his lifetime right there. So now we have a minute left in this battle here. Our tower is down to 900 health, so I'm really going to try and focus on defending right here. Down go the Barbarians to counter that Hog Rider, and as a result, he doesn't actually get any hits off on my tower. So things are looking pretty good. 40 seconds left in this battle over here. We got some Barbs marching up on the right hand side. I'm actually gonna go wait on the left hand side with that Royal Giant and then the Bomber combo. Now, one of the downsides with the Bomber, of course, is he does not target air troops. So I did have to use the arrows there to protect my Royal Giant. But watch this, Bomber goes in and gets 1 hit off on the tower, doing another 200 damage there. Now right here, guys, he's got a pretty strong counter push going in on the right hand side, and I really wish I had my Bomber here to take out all those troops, but unfortunately it's a little bit too late, and I do lose that tower, and we are going to go into overtime here. But even though we are in overtime, I do have a strong lead right now. His tower is all the way down to 700 health, so all I really need is 1 more Royal Giant push. But right here, he's going to come in hot with that Giant. I'm going to go ahead and defend with my Cannon as well as my Musketeer, and then use that Zap spell to weaken that Minion Horde. And watch this, guys. He's going to go in with those Barbarians as well as the Spirit Gobs. Watch this Bomber do work to those Barbarians, taking them out in a couple hits, and then going on to support this Royal Giant right here. Now, he's going to drop his Giant to try and distract my Bomber, but the Royal Giant does push past and does reach that tower and will give me the 2 crown victory. Let's go ahead to the next replay here. So here we are, guys, with the next replay. Now, this battle here is a great example as to why the Bomber gets outclassed by other cards in this game, because honestly, the Bomber isn't very versatile. He has low health and he doesn't target air troops, so he only has one specific purpose, and that is to take out hordes of ground units. whereas there are other cards in this game that serve the same purpose but also have other uses as well, like the Valkyrie or the Wizard. And honestly, I don't think a 10% buff to the damage of the Bomber is enough to make him a competitive card in this game, because you only have 8 card slots in your deck, so you want to make the best use of every card slot as you can, and you want to try and build a deck that counters a variety of other decks in this game. And in this battle here, guys, my opponent actually has no cards in his deck that my Bomber is a great counter to, and as a result, I don't end up using the Bomber a whole lot in this game, so it's pretty much like I have a 7 card deck versus a 8 card deck, and that card slot would be better used on other cards like the Wizard or even a Fireball or anything like that. But right here, he's coming in with the Hog Rider as well as a Princess. I'm going to use the cannon to distract that Hog Rider and then throw my Musketeer behind to take out that Princess. And watch this, guys, the Musketeer is going to make her way over that bridge and get a couple shots off on that tower, bringing it down to 1800 health. But watch this counter push right here, guys. Wizard walking in with that Valkyrie, sorry. I'm going to try and use the Barbarians on a surround technique around that Wizard, but I fail miserably, and he also drops the freeze spell to freeze my Barbarians, and as a result, I will lose that tower, and he does have a 1 crown lead so far. But in the opening push with that Royal Giant, I did some decent damage to his tower on the left, so his tower on the left is all the way down to 800 health, so I'm pretty confident that we're going to be able to take it out with this Royal Giant right here. So here we go, Royal Giant making his way over the bridge. As you can see, I'm hovering over my arrows right here. I was kind of expecting him to drop down a minion horde, and as soon as he dropped down the Wizard, I went ahead and used the arrows to take out that Princess. And right here, the Royal Giant is going to target that Elixir Pump, do some pretty good damage to it, taking it out and preventing him from getting any bonus Elixir from that pump. Now right here, I did use my arrows to take out that Princess, so he is going to try and go in with that level 10 minion horde. I'm going to drop everything I have here, and of course I make a pretty big mistake here. I knew he did have the freeze spell in his deck, but I made the mistake of dropping everything together, and as a result they did get frozen, and I was forced to use the arrows to take everything out. Now right here, we're going to go in with a strong push on the right hand side with that Royal Giant, sorry. And then I'm going to use the Bomber, but once again, he's dropping the minion horde there, and of course the Bomber doesn't target air troops, like I said, so he does die pretty quickly. Now the Wizard in this battle here would have been a much better use, because right there, for example, he wouldn't have been able to use that minion horde to take out my Royal Giant. And right here, he's coming in hot with that level 11 Royal Giant, and watch this push right here, my tower taking an insane amount of damage. He's coming in with a Hog Rider as well, Royal Giant, Hog Rider reaching my tower. I'm going to try everything I can right here to defend against this push. Now there we go, guys, my tower all the way down to 660 health. He's still pushing with that Valkyrie. The Musketeer will kill her pretty quickly, and she won't actually reach my King Tower. And then we're going to go in with a counter push with that Royal Giant. He's going to try and go in for that 3 crown victory with that Royal Giant. And watch this, guys, my tower is all the way down to 90 health. I'm going to use the Zap spell to stun his Royal Giant for a quick second and save my tower. He's going to try and sneak in that Hog Rider to get the last hit off on my tower, but my Royal Giant will finish his tower off, giving me the 2 crown victory. Let's go ahead and try and do a live battle here. So here we go, guys. Hopefully we get a decent opponent, not like a level 10 or a level 11 or something like that. But let's see what we get here. We have a level 10, and he's only at 3,032 trophies, so we don't want to lose this one. But let's see here. Not really the greatest opening hand here, so we might wait a quick second and see if he makes the first move. What does he do? I'm going to give him a good luck first of all. He drops a Musketeer in the corner there. I'm going to go ahead and use my Musketeer on the left hand side and do a counter push on the left lane. Now, he might drop a Royal Giant in front of that Musketeer, because that's going to be my move, so we'll see if we have mirror decks. Down go the Barbs, going to use the cannon here with the Bomber on the right hand side. Now, unfortunately, actually I'm going to use the Barbs here right here to distract everything. Now, he does have the Ice Wizard to distract my Bomber, but the Bomber does a great job there clearing out all of those troops. So yet again, that's a good example of where the Bomber can be extremely useful for only 3 Elixir. The Wizard or the Valk would have been good uses in that instance as well, but they would have costed more Elixir. So right here, we're going to do a slow push on the left-hand side with the Royal Giant, because that tower is a little bit weaker, so I want to try and protect it. And once the Royal Giant makes his way closer to the bridge and we get to 10 Elixir, I'm going to go ahead and support him with the Musketeer behind. Now he drops a Giant. I really wish I had the Inferno Tower in my deck here. Going to use some Goblins up front to hopefully protect a little bit. And what does he drop? Royale Giant making his way, going to go down with a bomber here to take out those barbs. Come on, bomber, clear them out. And then going to use the cannon here, which will distract, surprisingly. And then zap this. And the zap spell hopefully just gave my cannon enough time to protect my tower. And then the musketeer will hopefully target his musketeer and then go into the giant. So overall, not too bad considering he does have the level advantage on his cards. But he is also pumping up, so later on in the battle, he will probably have more elixir than me. But right here, he's coming in with that giant. Going to go ahead and use the barbs to take him out. With the bomber, hopefully to take out those skellies. And then the cannon to distract, hopefully. Nope, too late. But he will die pretty quickly. You're going to zap all this. And then a musketeer on the left-hand side. Now the bomber doing some pretty good work right there, but unfortunately he does have low health and will get killed by that musketeer pretty quickly. And then right here, he's going to go with that giant way in the back. I'm going to try and sneak in a Royal Giant right here with a bomber on support. Does he drop some barbarians? He does. So a good use of the bomber right there, guys. And I honestly don't know why I just threw those arrows there. That was a huge waste. And he has a pretty strong counter push looking right here, guys. I'm going to go ahead and use this. And then the barb sword right here. Which honestly might not have been the best decision. He will probably get our tower right here, guys. Unfortunately, he does have the level advantage, and I have made a couple mistakes in this battle that probably costed me the win. I feel like I could have won that if I played that a bit better. But anyways, that will do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next video.